Dave Katz.
I'm Mikey Dobbs.
And I'm Carmen Butler.
And this is
the ATL On Fire podcast show.
on the dynamic. That's because that's how we roll. We're
right.
dynamic.
Not very intuitive, to be honest.
All right, so where am I
Go to the end.
The end.
Go to
Very
the end.
end. Just keep going.
Yeah, just
Yeah,
keep
right about
going.
there.
Keep going.
It should be about it.
Let's see.
Oh, there's the banger.
Oh.
No, that's the
second
last.
goal.
That's the
Yeah,
second
go
one.
back a little bit.
Go
Let's
back
see.
probably a
Little
good bit.
A little bit further.
Oh, there's for okay.
She's got the shirt off, so that's the second goal.
We're still at the
Keep
banger.
going.
Yeah, it's
That was
gonna
too
be
far.
it's gonna be further back. Anyway,
Keep going.
Lennon plays it to the top corner of the 18, and Almada looks like he's going to try to take it after his first
Yeah.
touch, but takes another little shimmy to the right and bangs it and goes off the top post. And he pulls down his shirt to say Fuerte Apache, which evidently is a restaurant, I'm assuming, in his hometown in Argentina that feeds a lot of the homeless and hungry people in the area. So he was giving a shout out
Oh, nice.
to the folks back home.
And we yellow carded him as MLS for that.
Yeah. I know, yeah.
Of course,
Right.
of
Yeah.
course.
So that's a restaurant.
Feed the
that
homeless.
is
Get a
feeding the-
booking.
feeding the homeless.
All right,
Yeah.
now Carmen, go back to that for a second because I know you've been watching a lot of goalkeeping with your son. What and Mikey Dobbs, feel free to comment. What is the goalkeeper doing? Like somehow right before Almada shoots, he like sits down. I think I have a theory for it, but I want to hear your theory first.
I didn't notice.
He's like,
oh yeah,
and it goes right over his head. I mean, it really ends up. I mean, it's a rocket, but it's kind of down the middle.
So I think it's because of that little shimmy that Almada did that
Little fake.
it was a little, but it was just to create, right there. I think he thought he was going near post just because he got screened a little bit. And because of that delay, he thought he was going near post instead of far post. He goes down and then boom, it's too late up high off the top of the post.
I think so. I think he was leaning the wrong way.
Yeah.
Right. Which is amazing.
Yeah. Because he's a tall goalkeeper. Had he been set, he probably would have got a hand on that.
Oh, yeah. I mean, if he had ever just stood up and didn't go anywhere,
Yeah.
he could have just tipped it over easily. I mean, I'm not blaming him for that, I guess. But to me, I think a really excellent MLS goalkeeper has probably got to save that. But anyway, all credit to Almada.
So at that point, I'm upstairs saying, I told you so. Because everyone was
1-1.
was there that didn't want to listen to me. I was like, I told you we were going to tie this game.
Yep.
And
now I want to say one more thing before you move. Maybe we're about to move to the last goal.
Yeah.
You know who gets an assist on that play?
Brooks Lennon.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's one of the classic assists. Now, later in the season, I just wanted to make a note of that because later in this season, Pineda is going to talk about all of Brooks Lennon's amazing assists and how he's the most productive player ever. I mean, it counts as an assist, but he passed the short corner, Mikey Dobbs. That's not really, I mean, probably your daughters could have played that ball.
Yeah. It was not.
I mean, he did what he was supposed to do.
Did what he was supposed to do.
He did.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with it. I'm not criticizing. For those of you before you rail on us on Twitter, I'm not criticizing him for it. I'm just saying later this season when he's got an assist total, that should be factored in.
Yeah. I mean, that was all Almada there. So then I forget who comes down in like the 99th minute or whatever the last dwindling 5 seconds of the game were.
Yeah.
Somebody earns a foul. Do you remember who that was who got?
I believe it's Araujo.
Araujo gets taken from behind, I think.
Yeah, for all his really struggle in this game, I think he earned that free kick.
And so that sets up a free kick about 25 yards out, something like that. Araujo and Almada are standing over the ball. And yeah, I was like, man, I really hope Almada takes this shot. I really do. That was going through my head as this transpired. And holy cow, Dave. I mean, that is stepping up and delivering when, everyone knows that's where you're going. And there's only one place you can put it within a square foot.
Yep.
and he does it with
You got to get
power.
it up and over the wall, but under the bar, and still with enough power that the goalkeeper can't get over there.
Yeah.
And watch what happens, people.
It is a golazo.
Just let it play. They'll probably show it 16 times in the 98th minute.
Fuerte Apache, yeah.
And he gets booked for his.
Yeah.
Just let it play, Carmen. They'll just go back to it, I think, multiple times.
That goalkeeper's like, all I had to do was cover that
Daniel.
corner. And look how it just dips there at the end. It really is a thing of beauty.
It was well hit.
Gorgeous.
It is worth watching 16 times.
Yeah.
Because that's not a short goalkeeper either.
For those of us who are, those of you criticizing us for being overly negative, we love that.
Yeah.
Do that.
Pineda loves it.
Oh, so that's the other thing that I noticed here. Like both goals, they zoomed in on Pineda, and you could tell from his body language that there was something there of relief because
of our performance.
Had neither one of those goals happened, it would have been a tough press conference for him.
Yep.
And it still should have been a tough press conference for him, but boy, he got bailed out by those two goals.
Yeah, nobody asked him a tough question, right? I listened to the presser, and nobody asked him like what happened the rest of the game, right?
Yeah.
So let's talk about the rest of the game, I guess.
But I will say the MLS commentators on Apple TV did basically agree with what we're saying. That
was Kevin Egan, right?
Yeah, Kevin Egan was
nice.
Said there wasn't much to be.
I was at the game, so I wasn't watching on TV, but yeah.
So there's that. Now, what do you want to go to? The goal that we gave up to begin the game. I don't know what minute that was in the game. It was something like 15 minutes into the game.
Yep. Here it is.
So this goal came out of the back left corner of San Jose's build up. A player picks it up and frankly just meanders up the field. First, we see Jackson Conway try to make a tackle that had no effort. Then we see Araujo make a lazy slide tackle.
10 seconds, Carmen.
Make a lazy slide tackle like he's a 15-year-old. And then we see, I don't know who's marking him up on the right side, Brooks Lennon or someone also
just play it from there.
Also not put any sort of real pressure or effort onto the ball. Really bad defending out of the midfield to begin with. And this guy just plays a long ball into the corner.
Oh, it's actually further back.
Yeah, way further back.
Yeah.
Oh man, that is just such a painful goal. So yeah, the ball gets played long. We have plenty of people back. Gutman gets a little unlucky with the cross going in between his legs. Parata not committing one way or the other. Lennon, had he just stayed away, probably Miles Robinson to mark the guy up on the inside. Instead, Lennon lets him get the inside edge on him, and there's a header that goes in.
Carmen, can you go back to the beginning of this clip for a second?
Ibarra also leaves his guy and confuses everyone. I mean, the whole thing was a hot mess, Dave.
Go back a little
way further. Yeah, okay. There we go.
And pause it.
All of that was terrible defense.
Okay.
All of that was such bad defense to that point. And yet, Dave, we're still okay, right? Like there's people back, right?
Yeah. So as Mikey Dobbs points out, like we did a bit of Ole in the midfield, right? He's dribbling through the middle, and Araujo misses, and then Ibarra gets turned. But after all of that, we actually have four. All of our four are back. Okay, so you can't criticize the tactics, or can you? Because what I want you to say is, Carmen.
Uh-oh.
Can you please describe where Gutman is right now?
Very central and not near the dude with his arm up in the air.
The guy who's waving desperately for the ball.
And where is Gutman's back? It's facing that player that has his hand
the
up.
Guy with the
More importantly, so Gutman is ostensibly in the middle helping. Who is he helping on? Where is the closest San Jose player?
It's
like
pulled back.
It's Eboisi who's
like 15 yards up in
50
front.
yards, and he's the guy who ends up on the back post and scores. But, so first of all, right, as we talked about, right? So when you're defending, right, how can we possibly give up a guy that open, right? So what should be right now, okay, is there are four things that should be different on this play, right? So first of all, one of our center backs should be very close to Abuis, right? Because there is no way they should be able to play that easily. Right now, they can play him and he could turn and he could run at our center backs. And that's just shambolic. We have four back and they only have really two up front with a third joining.
He just dropped back into the soft space and no one pushed up.
No one goes with him, right? So maybe you could say, all right, if he goes so far back, you can release him to Arbara or Josetu, right? But, in this case, they're not marking him either. So he's wide open. They choose not to play him. So that's mistake number one. Mistake number two is that what should be happening is our right back should be marking their left forward, right? If you notice, Miles Robinson is standing right next to Brooks Lennon, right? Why is he standing there? We'll get to it in a minute on the tactical board, but because Brooks Lennon is always up the field, they have asked Miles Robinson, our center back, to mark their left forward, right? And so even though Lennon is back here, Miles Robinson is still feeling like he should mark that guy.
Programmed to go there.
Right.
Instead of maybe stepping up the guy that's drifting into the center there.
Yes. And then the third mistake is Gutman, who should be out close enough to address the guy who's waving frantically at the very bottom of the screen, hey, I'm open. And when you play the clip, they're going to play a 40-yard ball over everybody's head, and Gutman can't even get close.
Oh, he brought that down easily.
Yep.
Jeez.
And yeah, unbelievable.
So there's the problem.
Set of events.
Okay. So I think we can show it one more time just before I go to it on the tactical board, because I'm going to tell you what happens. Go ahead, Mikey.
Yeah, just the fact that everybody is facing the ball there too. When we had so many people back, nobody turned their hips. Again, it's just not. It's ridiculous defending. Just even from a fundamental standpoint, even the way people are positioned with so many people back, Dave, that is not good.
Okay, so go to 409. We're going to do this a little out of order. I'm sorry, Carmen, while you're talking about it, because I show that and
boom.
Yeah, so I mean, again, and you don't even have to play the clip, right? So if you look at Gutman here again I just picked it out of the highlight package because it was happening all day, right? Gutman is again leaving that guy way wide on the outside, right? And he's super tucked in, and it's the exact same thing, right? So Gutman is marking nobody, right? He's not close enough to address the guy out wide. He's not central to help out on anybody, right? Yep. We already have, I mean, you can't really see it on this clip, but so who's the guy in the center in this clip? That's Parata. Okay. And where's Miles Robinson on this clip?
He's playing.
He's off the screen because he is responsible for marking their left forward.
That's not Miles in the top of the key.
Press play. No, it's not. There he is. See?
No, that was Miles.
Well, I guess in this case they had switched, right? So it was Miles up front and it was Ibarra taking Miles Robinson's place, but same difference, right? So there's a guy up front, up there, right? And playing in the right back. In that case, it's even worse because it's Ibarra marking for Lennon, right?